Oh, you've got that one, though. You've got the coach one.
No. Yes.
You've got the passenger one.
I've got this one, and this one is filming.
Oh, that one's got... Oh, sorry.
No, this kind of
Concentrate on the driving.
He's looking at the stage and went to the top.
And the stickers all around the layout.
Coming to the end of Making Tracks 2025 at Chester Cathedral.
Yep.
This is our 5th and final year.
Let's just make this very plain.
I know more than
Dave, it is our final year.
Okay.
So I know we've said that 4 times before, but this time it really is. There can be no, certainly not in the next 2 years, that I can see that we could come back here, because we're committed next year, and the year after we're probably committed. Since we started this, 5 years ago, we've all reached 80 years old. The ability to do 6 weeks in one stretch, which this is probably now slightly beyond us. Without the volunteers, we couldn't do it, and asking volunteers to do 42 days is a huge ask. And it's too much on Chris.
And it's been a bit mental this year because we've been doing more than one show at the same time.
Yes, and that, in fact, Dave, as we didn't plan this, by the way, that's had a really big effect on the church. I mean, we've done phenomenal figures.
Right.
And that's because, again, we were on breakfast TV in Derby,
Yep.
and we were on the local radio, and the local televisions picked us up. Going to Aberystwyth, the Welsh TV stations have picked us up. So it really has. Bank holiday Monday here, I've never seen as many people. Even the Dean came over and said, "What have you done?" Because they were 5 deep on the layout.
Well, we're doing something like nearly 200 drivers a day, guests.
Yeah, it's taken 5 years, and I think in reality there's always a time when you have to move on, and I think that's now.
Right.
There is a natural end to everything.
Right.
And I think you've got to know when to end something. I guess television taught me that. Television is a great job, and everything that goes with it, and you're reluctant to end a series because you're having a good time. But sometimes, you have to end it because you've got no storyline to carry on with.
Beginning, a middle and an end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Close the book, start a new one.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. But I've said before, we're so busy, just even this year, we're coming to the end of August. We've got Getz lined up, we've got Aberystwyth, and we've got Blakemere. We've still got 3 shows to go, and we're in September. It's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing is, Dave, when we started this 5 years ago, we didn't think this was going to last. We had no idea, really, of what we were doing. That's the truth. This was an idea the Dean wanted, a model in the cathedral to celebrate Thomas Brassey, you know, if we'd have gone with the original idea, we certainly would not have been doing this, because this was not the original idea.
The original idea was smaller layouts, but
Well,
several.
just 3 small layouts
Right.
that showed the history of the railway. And we actually, Dave and I had already started, Dave Douglas and I had started that. We built Keffin Viaduct, which was in itself, and you know, we'd never done anything like that. That was great. But it was then COVID hit,
Yeah.
and we were laid off for over 18 months because the chapel we're in was used for the COVID centre. So that in itself was an important part of the story, because I looked at it and I just woke up one night, and I know I wake up in the middle of the night a lot, but I really do, you know, and thought, it's not that entertaining, this is not going to work. You know, because I knew we were in the main body of the church. This is a massive place, you know, with massive beauty and structure. And,
It's a communal building, isn't it?
well, yeah, and, you know, 3 little layouts wouldn't have really worked. So I did talk to the dean, and I had this idea of reflecting the railway the way it is now, so that anybody who walked in, particularly younger kids, could see the railway as it really is, not as old modelers like myself see it.
We romanticise about the
Yeah,
steam
yeah.
era.
So, you know, it was. I always remember the one point was when Dave Douglas told me that Aaron could do the overheads. That was it for me. That was it. It was like, well, that was it. It was like, okay, let's do it.
It's a right pain, but it's worth it.
Well, let's do it because nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
So this will make it, the 64 feet that we had in itself was enormous, but the fact that we were modelling a modern railway with the overheads and Voyagers and Pendolinos, nobody else was doing that.
And we're running trains with the pantographs up today. So
Yeah.
I've seen that. Over 72 feet of glorious overhead.
Yeah. So it was, you know, it was a gamble, and we took a lot of comment from the traditional models. Where's the steam engines? Where's the people? Where's the steam engines? I don't want them on this layout.
The end.
Don't take pictures. And we did have some. I mean, I remember one guy got irate because children were playing with the trains and he couldn't film the trains. I thought, well, you've come to the wrong exhibition, pal. But I mean, the main thing was because it was a one-off project, we did cut corners. I mean, it was never meant to last. I mean, we envisaged it coming back and we'd have all these boards to play with at the house, you know. So the wiring, as you know well, Dave, because you and I spent the first couple of weeks when we were here the first time under the board soldering.
Yes.
Because it was a lash up, I think, is a.
It was quick. We were wiring.
Well, I think lash up is a general word.
Yeah, we were wiring on the way out to an exhibition
Yeah.
in the early days. So yes, it served its purpose.
Yeah.
And we finally got to the point where we were mature enough in what we were doing. To
Well,
be
I
able
think
to
when we did the
restructure it.
world record, we saw it fail. We could see the vulnerability of what we'd done.
Yes.
And it was that moment that we had to make a decision whether we stop because there was nowhere to go, or we have to go back to the beginning and take it on the chin and go, right, we now need to upgrade the whole lot for it to work to the quality of what we're trying to do. Because the model had improved and we'd gone lots of doing things that nobody had done before. But the wiring was in its infancy. Everything about it was, we'll make it work, and as long as it works till Sunday night, we can take it down Sunday night, we don't care, because Monday it's not got to run.
Right.
So that was when, you know, looking at it, looking at the enormity we got to, we then realised, obviously, we had to relook at the electronics. We had to look at the wiring, we had to look at the way it worked, because it was fine having 32 signals, but if they didn't work, it was pointless building 32 signals. Poor old Andy, you know, those handmade signals were a work of art, the way he wires them. But then you put them in, they weren't working. It was like, well, what's the point in putting them in?
Yeah.
So that obviously spurred the whole thing then. And when, you know, we took the decision that the whole lot, we had to rewire the whole lot. And by Aberystwyth, we will have done all 77 boards or 78 boards.
I mean, it's still an ongoing job. Milton Keynes is the last
Well,
complicated one, isn't it?
yeah, it's still ongoing as we talk now, but we're only probably 3 weeks away from completion. When we break down from here this weekend, I've got to change 2 of the boards to match these 2 boards. We're taking down where the flats are to redesign that. We wouldn't have done that 2 years ago.
No.
Now we know it's all about transporting it and making it work so it runs as good as it looks, if you get what I mean.
Yes, definitely.
So the automatic points you've put in this year made a massive difference to the shorting problems.
So this is the automatic point selection when you exit the fiddle yard.
Yeah.
It sets the points for you.
It's made a massive difference. Because if you remember, the joke was, I always used to shout short, and everybody, you know,
Everyone would
everybody used
scream
to,
or-
yeah, and everybody
yeah.
used to laugh.
Yeah.
But this year I've not shouted short once.
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi was also a problem. You know, we battled with the Wi-Fi. So looking at it, because we want it to carry on, because we've got lots of younger people involved now. So as we fall off our perch, we've at least got some people now willing to take it on. But handing it over, you've got to hand them over something that works.
Yes.
And something that they've been involved with, they know it works. So we're far more inclusive now of ideas than we were probably 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So there's more people putting ideas in to what we can do to improve it. So
I think
that makes
since
a
the
difference.
world record, it caused everyone to have a bit of a think and start putting ideas forward. How do we improve this? Because it was getting silly, wasn't it? Especially the first hours, the morning of a new exhibition, it would be, we'd spend a couple of hours trying to make the thing work, ironing out shipping issues, whatever.
Well, I think also, let's look back. We're at the cutting edge of what we were doing. You know, we were using humble pies and raspberry ripples to make everything work. It was all a bit too one-offish. It works, but it only works when one person can work it. If you're asking 5 other people to pick up the baton, you can't do that.
No.
Because, you know, I'm not being funny, but I certainly am 99% of the rail nuts are not electronic experts. So, you know.
We just want to turn it on and use it.
Yeah. I mean, we're learning. We're all learning. But it's still in one of those learning curves where, you know, still to me, it's still the tablet works brilliant, you know, but it's still a learning curve when you come to, see, signals are my big thing, Dave. You know that from when we started it.
Yes.
To me...
Was it 11 knobs you had to
Yeah, I had to remember, I used to change the
So you couldn't just drive a train from one to the other, you were busy working the signals manually.
Yes. So I think that, for me, you know, the whole thing is if you've got the signals, they've got to work properly. You know, and you've got to have flashing lights for crossover junctions. You've got to be able to do all that. Now, the technology that you guys have developed in the last 2 years, 2 years, not 5 years, in the last 2 years, has changed all that.
Yes.
You know, so it's a massive change from where we were when we bought our first electric, you know, colour light signals back for the first trip, which cost us a lot of money, and then found out there was no way of working them other than a switch.
Yes.
So, you know, you made up that first system, but that's miles away from where we are now because we've got the block detectors and it works automatic. It mimics the real railway, which is, of course, what we're trying to do.
Yes, you shouldn't have to touch the signal, it should be right all the time.
Yeah, it should. And that, to me, you know, people might not notice it, but I notice it.
Yeah, we know it's there.
Yeah, I notice it.
Just like with the bi-directional running platforms at Milton Keynes, we need to signal them properly.
Yeah.
We want to use them. It's a bit of a toy for our benefit, but we enjoy sending one train past another one on the same line.
But what that does also, David, is you're making that product available for people that are watching this video. They'll think, oh, I'd like to do that on my layout. You know, what making tracks has achieved in that 5 years, it's made, if you take Phil's buildings, there was nothing like that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you're looking at a range in that key model world range of buildings, phenomenal. And you go from simple buildings to the latest flats he's done, which are, skilled builders.
I was using the wagon as a dolly this morning before we opened up, filming the buildings. They are superb and they look phenomenal, especially from ground level where
Right, so nobody was thinking that 5 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, they're architectural buildings. They're not just here's a building.
No. I've said to Phil, it's architectural modelling that we're doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to thank Rod Stewart at this point because his layout gave me the inspiration. I saw his flats and I thought, you know what? Although he's obviously modelling New York in a certain time period, London and the West Coast is starting to look, well, like Singapore, really,
Right.
not less than America, it's looking more like Asia. But that's what kids see.
Yeah.
And it even shocked me that I did a gig for the BBC about 2 months ago in Queen's Park, and I went in a taxi and I realised that suddenly there were loads of flats all around London looking like we've been building, and I'd never noticed them, and I lived there. And then suddenly you look at the architecture and think, why do you do this? Well, because the laws change. You need all these, you need light, you need to open a window. That's part of, regulation. So you look at, when I built Leamington Spa, outside toilets were the big thing.
Yes.
Bay windows, window tacks, and you look at it and you go, this is quite incredible, So I look at what we've done now and what we've made available, and the guys we've brought in, not just us, we've brought in other guys that got their little ranges, but we've created that cottage industry again, which I think the model railway needs. Yes, we've worked with the big manufacturers, and thank God that because they're sponsored, without their help we could never have done this. But the knock-on effect to the modelling trade, the people that want to model and build a railway, is colossal.
I mean, we're taking standard stock, sticking it on the layout, and we are running it for mile after mile after mile. And it's working, isn't it?
Yeah. So if we work out that, I mean, I've lost track of the minute at the Pendolinos, but they've got to be over 200 miles now.
And they're still going.
And they're still going.
And the flirt's proving popular as well now.
Can I just say, I know it's sponsored by Hornby, and I've been a Hornby representative and I've had my own range with Hornby. The Flirt, without a question, is one of the best model items I've ever seen. Without a question.
When I'm parallel running with it, with the camera, you can see the detail in the lighting.
Honestly, the
sounds.
Flirt, I don't care. There's some great models coming out now, like the 60s and the 56s and all the stuff that's coming out. It's high end. There's no question. It's all just unbelievable. That Flirt is probably, I think, the best model we've ever produced for the British market in Britain of a prototype. I'm not talking about retrograde 60s, 56s, 47s or whatever. I'm talking about a current marketable product.
I mean, we can't be more up to date with the model either, can we? I mean, it's
No.
absolutely bleeding edge, isn't it?
Yeah, no, and to me that's, everybody knocks everybody. There's the current, it's this and this, that's better than that one. No, it's your choice. Look at what you want. Look at what suits you. Don't look at the label of who made it. Look at the fidelity. Is it what I want? Is it priced at the range I can afford?
I think what sets them off as well is what's around them. So if you've got lots of other models around it of a certain standard, it allows it to step up, to stand out.
Oh, Dave, the quality of the models on that layout, they're phenomenal. I go back, even 20 years ago, 4 mil, you could have never, ever thought that you could rate. I mean, I scratch built all my 00 stuff. I was EM. But everything I built was scratch built, had to be. Or I bought a proprietary body and super detailed it and put new chassis on it. That was what we did. And I think what this layout has actually done because you can't do that anymore to this product. You know, the Cura scales, the Cavalier stuff, and the Rapido stuff, all so good. You wouldn't bother touching it because you can take it straight out of the box and run it. It's phenomenal. But when it comes to the scenery, that's where you can really change the game.
Right.
Because
I suppose it's so diverse, isn't it?
well, not just that, Dave. I think, and I don't want to mention names here because I don't think that's fair. But the scenic side of our hobby hasn't moved, and there are too many laser cut kits that don't go together. And it was like the same as we had in the 80s when laser etch was all when etching was all the big thing. We started having kits that you really wanted, but you couldn't build them. And that fabulous word, they were an aid to scratch building. Well, about the scratch building, and we've got to be careful. Laser cut wood is a fantastic tool, and it's brilliant if it works. And too many. I've seen. Some of the new layouts are quite amazing. But how many more mills can we make? How many more? It's like, guys.
We've already been to the extreme where you can't see the train you're driving because it's been so far away.
Yes.
So we've taken it to that level. Where else do you go?
You see, I always thought, because I've been a biggest fan of Pendant since it started back in the 50s, where Pendant slightly got it wrong it was 4 mil. If it had been N gauge, it would have been unbelievable.
Right.
But to try and get distance in 4 mil, it's almost impossible.
Right.
A mile
There's a
is
lot of
60
space.
feet or something.
Yeah.
So, a mile in real terms when you're modelling countryside is nothing. That's why I picked Leamington Spa, that you saw the train going through through buildings, which is why I cut them off so you couldn't see the train all the time.
Right.
And I think, that's what we've achieved or tried to achieve with this. But the major thing is when people walk in and go, "Oh, sitting on that bench this morning." My granddad lived in that house. I was brought up here, and we had a wonderful guy yesterday. Because I get very, what's the word? Very sort of
Protective,
yeah, of what we've modelled. I don't like criticism. I'll take the criticism of the people because I've got an answer to that. I don't like people.
Right.
So I'm not having people on the layout.
We're talking models of people, not real
no,
people.
No, I'm not having. I've never had model people because they stand in the same position every time I take a picture.
Yeah.
They ruin your model to me.
Yeah. Right.
But that's my thing. It's my model.
It's your model, do
so
it
I
your
make
way.
that decision. So in that respect, I am the hand of God. You ain't coming on my road. Get off.
That said, at Christmas we do have a nativity scene with children singing and what have you.
Yeah, okay. But Christmas is Christmas. I forgot me train of thought now. What were we talking about?
We're talking about.
Oh, so a guy came up to me yesterday, and it's that classic line, I wouldn't have done it that way. Yeah. This guy wasn't like that. He's, you could see he was like trying to working out in his own mind whether he should tell me what he was going to tell me or just leave it. So I said, "Got something?" He said, "Can I make a comment?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I work for Network Rail." "Oh yeah." "Yeah," he says, "Love the detail." He said, "But you have got one major thing missing." Now, that to me was like showing me a red rag, right? I thought,
I know where you're going.
I've got nothing missing, right? So I said, "Go on." He said, "Well, where does your water go when it rains?" And I thought, "Well, it don't rain in this layout." And I thought, I don't get him. He said, "Where's your cess?" So of course I go straight in the defence. "Well, yeah, it's this and it's that." No, he said, every 30 metres you've got a cess. So I pick up my phone, right?
There you are.
I'm thinking, right, I'll prove you wrong. Google Earth, Watford Junction.
Yeah.
Right? Pulled it up.
Right in your face now. You can't unsee it.
Right down the middle of the track, the blue with trains. All the way down. I went,
You're right.
I forgot it.
Yeah.
So we've had them made overnight.
Right. Okay.
So again, it's just that little detail that
It's
Rusty
funny,
Rails are making for me.
Right.
They'll be available. And every if
another
you
detail.
well, it's something else that along with his range, because he does a very good range of detail and stuff. It just makes it more real. Just makes it more real, you know. Of course, you have to have drains. If you have a station in the middle, there will be drains. There has to be to allow the water off the platforms to disappear. Otherwise, the track won't be flooded.
You become blind to certain things because you've looked at the pictures for years, never seen them.
No.
Or the just
No, because you're not a railwayman.
Yeah.
His job was looking after the catch pits.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
So the first thing he looked at on the railway was the catch pits.
yeah. Brilliant.
And that's great, isn't it? It's, it's like the old signalman. I love the old signalman. Where's your tail lamps? Don't have them anymore. Sorry. Got wheel counters. Don't need them. Only the union insist on some at the freight line trains, but they don't need them. It's a modern railway. But, the thing is, from here, just to divert back to what we're talking about, that way we've improved it. We're going over to Aberystwyth, to the Vale of Rheidol. And I'm sorry I don't pronounce that correctly, but it's the Vale of Rheidol in English. It isn't in Welsh, but there you go. We're going to improve it again, because the whole idea of this, being able to put it all together, is that we can get a week on our own, locked out in the Vale of Rheidol shed,
Just
playing, and perfecting any little inaccuracy we've still got. We can clear. I mean, also we can make sure the Wi-Fi works over 200 feet. So for us, it's probably going to be a hard week work. Locked away. When you've got wonderful fish and chip shops in Aberystwyth, they'll be very tempting. But that's what we've never had. We've never had the opportunity. And thank you to the Vale of Rheidol for giving us this opportunity to actually just play with it on our own, without the public. Yeah. So if it doesn't work, we can fix it there and then, or know that there is a real problem that has to be
Well,
fixed.
it's little things like if you run MT4 on its own now, then when the signals go out of scene onto the fill yard, the final signal is simulated, so it's on a timer.
Yes.
If we're joining it to MT3, we now have to make them talk to each other.
Correct.
It's only a reprogramming or reconfiguration,
Yes.
but the work has to be done.
Yes.
And so it's having the time to do the quality things rather than the essential, everything stops here if we don't fix it. stuff.
Yeah, so the other thing, of course, because we're committed to Scotland next year, at least, and the NEC, what takes on a more important, it's great, all the electronics and the scenery and making them all work. The biggest problem is we have now to face the reality of transportation, which we've not really addressed up until Derby, because Derby was the first time we'd ever had two layouts out. Now, it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark when we go on tour. The buildings take up that much space in boxes.
Yeah.
I think I'm almost certain we've got about a dozen big crates. Now, they take up a van, Dave.
Yeah.
So that in itself is now a logistical problem. So that's made Dave and I go back and look at the boards themselves and go, the way we stack the main layout is fantastic. It really is. Easy to transport, easy to store, but the bits we've added to Watford don't work because they're not as easy to transport because we didn't think it through in the way we thought we'd do a different system to make it easier to model. And we now know it doesn't work.
Your orders of magnitude bigger, more complex.
Yeah.
If you forget a box of cables, nothing happens, nothing works.
No.
Everything has to be organised, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we thought, why do we need, substantive baseboards for just scenery? We forgot the fact that you've got to transport it.
Yeah.
And when you've got trees this big, it's almost like having a station in there. You've got to have the clearance between the boards so you can stack them up.
Yeah.
So, that's a thing that Dave and I have got to do before we get to Aberystwyth, because obviously that's got to go to Aberystwyth. We've got to remake those boards. So, on Sunday we break down here, and then Monday we get stuck in to doing the whole back scene so that it can be stacked exactly like the layout and then we can put it in a van dead easy. You
Right.
see, because originally this was 64 feet, and we've gone to 71 feet, is it? Yeah,
72.
72 feet. We put the top for the flats is on a base on its own. That also has to be transported, and it's huge.
Yeah.
So it's like we said, David and I said, we can't do this. This has to be part of the board, so that when we pop the boards together, that's done.
Yeah.
That's one less thing to carry. And it's looking at things like that have made, that have changed what we do.
Quality of life things.
Yeah. And I mean, the last challenge is from Bushy to Wembley, which is what we want to do. You won't see that, by the way, at Aberystwyth, because one side of the layout is against a wall, obviously, because it's a working shed. But for next year, we are, we're trying to make sure that I'm excited about it, Dave. I'll tell you why I'm excited, because nobody's ever done what I'm going to do.
So do you think next year is an overly optimistic time for this to make a debut, or will it be seen in 2026, 2027? When do you think that Making Tracks 5 will be viewed by the public?
I'm hoping 26.
Right.
David, you know me. If you don't put a date on it, you'll never make it.
Yeah.
You'll make a million excuses why not to do it. And I'm saying, we want to show it in 2026. And Mike and I at Keyword have agreed that we'll try and make that. If it won't, it'll be by the skin of our teeth. But the boards are made, Dave.
Yeah.
The boards are made. It's not track lane anymore. This is about building the scenery in to make it work.
Yes.
And that's what I'm going away with Dave next week to work out how to do this. Because it's quite complicated configuration, but it'll look, on top of what we've got, it will look different. And when we do put them all together, it will give you a real interesting talking point.
And it'll still add its own personality as well.
And also, whether it ever happened in my lifetime, I don't know, but we could extend it sideways and create something different again. And again,
Possibilities.
well, it's everybody goes, on about, Wonderland in Germany, and it's amazing. But why don't we do that here, but portable? Because I still think there's a lot we can do to bring, and people, you've seen it, this year we've got record numbers. Derby was unbelievable.
Derby was a special show, though, as well, because I've not been to an exhibition or a show like that where everybody I saw was smiling. They were so happy, they were seeing things they'd never seen in a long time.
And they were young.
Yeah.
There wasn't so many people my age there. There was a few there. But of course, it's a railway site, and it's so big, people with walking difficulties couldn't attend because it was just too much for them. Because of the rails, there was limited wheelchair access. But so it's a very young family audience.
It was a very well organised event. And it
brilliant.
was a brilliant long
Brilliant.
weekend.
The staff were unbelievable.
I walked past one shed for 4 days. On the last day, he walked in and found these 5-inch guys sitting on trains having the time of their life.
Oh, man, listen, I did 44 miles, Dave.
Yeah.
In the 4 days I was doing obviously doing television and radio, but I walked 44 miles.
Yeah.
In fact, to be honest, it's taken me a good fortnight to get over it.
Yeah.
It's like, whew, my wristwatch said, "Are you kidding me, yourself? What, are you what? Hang on a minute here."
We put the watch on the dog.
Yeah, yeah. Have you transplanted us on the grandkids?
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. Well, Pete, thanks for the chat.
Dave, as always, could I just thank everybody who watches these videos, because I know that they're watched by a lot of people, and when you come up to us and say you enjoy these videos, that does mean something to us, because you're sitting there, you don't know what's out there, so to get feedback, and I'm sorry Dave can't be in this video to swear, but can't have everything in one video. We do appreciate it. Thanks for watching.
Cool. Alex.
Yeah.
I'm sat in your coach, am I?
Well, it's part of some of our coaches.
Right.
So the table and the seats are original. They've all been freshly upholstered for this event. We got the custom antimacassars for a special commission, and this was all built by our carriage and wagon volunteers.
Right.
So the original sort of designs and drawings were done by a guy called Richard, and then he was assisted by Tony and Bob and a few others to put all this together. And yeah, as many original fittings as we could, and then the actual film itself is done by Sammy B, who's our sort of local volunteer YouTuber, filmmaker sort of thing, and he's contributed quite a lot to us over the last couple of years. He's done quite a lot of videos for our own YouTube channel, which people are more than welcome to follow.
Tell us that channel. What's it called?
So it's Llangollen Railway is the channel title. I'm hoping, as interpretations officer, I'm hoping that our sort of outreach through that channel is going to be what kind of gets us that bigger audience going forwards. One thing you find in the heritage rail sector is that we're extremely limited by the ability of people to travel to us, the capacity of our coaches and our station buildings. Whereas obviously YouTube and this medium, this new sort of frontier, has a much broader reach and much more scope for storytelling and really platforming the amazing things that our volunteers do.
I mean, this is very effective.
It's come off pretty well. We did have the cathedral asking if they could move it around the corner so that people could eat their pizza on it, and I think our upholsterer would have had me hanging from the rafters if I'd allowed people to get pizza grease all over her nice
Because
new
it's
seats.
so new as well.
Indeed, yeah.
I mean, the seats are quite comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like I'm in a carriage of old. You know,
Well-
it feels quite natural.
Well, it's as authentic as we could make it. The actual framework of the seats is all from a Mark I carriage.
Right.
And Charlie does an amazing job of stitching these things together. It's all done using authentic methods. So the actual stitching is done, I believe, with horsehair. And there's metal underframes and springs and sort of layered cushion to put it all together.
When I was talking with Pete before, I had the camera quite tight. So it's a bit of a reveal to have pulled back now and shown that, no, we're just having you on, we're not really going anywhere. I mean, do you know where we are now?
So this looks like it could be between Deeside and Glendyfrdwy. I believe you're coming alongside, so the River Dee is along here. You're going to be coming down the hill, and shortly we should go past some sidings with some scrappy old wagons sort of rotting away, which tends to happen in.
Is there a
in
tunnel
these
near
places. The tunnel would be a little while ago.
Right,
So
okay.
so yeah, we're lucky in that we have this amazing soon to be national park scenery going on. And it's largely unspoiled. I think some heritage railways in Britain, you find they go past a lot of people's back gardens for quite a lot of it, whereas we are almost entirely
Pristine countryside.
Pristine countryside, yeah.
So if people come to visit you, what can they see? What can they do? What can they expect?
So Llangollen itself is a well-established and well-known.
It's pretty, isn't it?
Tourist destination, really good for a weekend away and that sort of thing. It's got access to the Vronkasulti aqueduct, which is the big sort of World Heritage site, Dinas Bran. We've got a ruined castle, a ruined monastery cum castle on a local hillside. Amazing if you want to walk, if you want to do a canal boat trip, if you want to go horse riding, that sort of thing. Really good for all that. But we really are the transport link in the valley.
Right.
So that's one of the real advantages of our setup, is that we're not just a big model. We are essentially a commuter link.
I'm sitting here looking out the window like
exactly,
it's real.
it is as if you're doing. We could have picked a better day for the filming, but no, I think we did pretty well.
Realistic.
Absolutely, yeah.
I like the sign floating past.
It's
as
rather
well.
good, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Glendyfrdwy.
I did wonder.
Would be how you'd pronounce that. But frankly, if you ask 3 different Welsh people how to pronounce a given word, you'll probably get about 5 different interpretations. So,
Right.
yeah.
So your preserve line, is it a single line or do you have multiple lines? Where do you go from? Llangollen to where?
So we go from Llangollen and now to Corwin. So in
Okay.
2023 we opened a new station at Corwin, built mostly by volunteers. It won a Heritage Rail Association award. I just got a little bit of motion sickness because of this.
That's how good it is.
It really is that accurate. So we run about 10 miles.
Right.
Most of it is single track, so there's only a few stations where we run double tracks through. Mostly because we've been limited by our ability to run trains around as we've gradually sort of restored the line. So what you find is that going back through the history of it, 50 years coming up, early on they just ran between Llangollen and Goods Junction, which is less than half a mile.
Right.
And those early days they had some very disappointed visitors who were like, well, is this all we can do? Yes. We're laying it with hand tools and third-hand track that we're nicking off industrial sites all over the UK. So yeah.
Wow.
So to have what we have now, we're extremely lucky. I think.
Is this the River Dee?
This is the River Dee. So this is on its way to Carrog now. This is about as close as you get to the river on our train. And yes, it's home to a lot of protected species. It's a special scientific interest for a few different reasons. We have a local River Dee Trust who we work with quite closely to make sure that we're not having a major impact on the local wildlife and that sort of thing.
Right.
At the end of the day, we are running steam trains through a valley though, so we have the inevitable.
And that must introduce some challenges during the high summer when everything's hot, dry,
Absolutely,
tinder-like.
Yeah, we have to be quite careful with things these days. As a lot of railways are finding, they increasingly have to very carefully pick and choose when they run, what they run, not just as a cost-saving measure, although costs are getting frankly ridiculous compared to what people used to run. But certainly in terms of seeking to preserve our relationship with the local communities and the local environment, absolutely essential for us.
Right.
Especially going into, as I say, hopefully a national park in the next couple of years. We are potentially up for quite a lot of notoriety in our running with that. So yeah, it would be really good if we could get into the habit of doing it well. We have a set of water tankers that we run up and down, and we do douse the dry grass here and there where we can. It's not an absolutely fireproof method, but it does a decent enough job a lot of the time.
And are we on a single line or are there dual lines?
Mostly it's single, so
Right.
yeah, we've got a few passing loops in some of the stations, but yeah, the majority of it is single. The Rowabon to Barmouth branch line, as it ran originally, it was mostly a single line.
Right.
And yes, it would have just had very specific places to switch engines and switch trains, switch ends.
I can see you're very proud of this.
I'm thrilled by how it's come out. What happens to it now after making tracks is going to be really interesting to see. Certainly, I would love to have a conversation with the local museums and see if we could take it on tour around some of them. But one thing that we are looking at doing over the next couple of years, hopefully, is presenting our carriage and wagon works a little bit more actively.
Right.
At the moment, it's not really a conducive place to take a lot of visitors to. But if we can get the right funding model in place, we can get the right commercial model in place, we should be able to make something like this a really good sort of station, as it were, to sit and have a cup of coffee and a piece of cake at a presented carriage and wagon museum,
Right.
which is what we're really looking forward to.
With this design, are you expecting or open for the public to come and sit in it, or are they just supposed to look at it?
Oh no, we want this to be absolutely
To be used.
engaged with. Yeah,
Maybe not
no,
with
it's-
lunch, but-
Well, I mean, just mind out for the upholsterer as you,
In case he's wandering by.
in case she's nearby, because she's quite protective over these things,
Right.
and that's as is
Labour and
her
love.
right. I mean,
Everything is.
absolutely, everything is very, very intensively done. So yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah. No, one thing that you get in the heritage rail sector that you don't necessarily get in some more sort of controlled museum environments is we can do really good tactile, hands-on experiences for people.
Right.
So one thing that I'm personally very keen on is that people understand that trains, steam trains, and the history of railways is not some it's not some remote experience in the dim and distant past that your grandparents talk about. It's the foundation of social mobility in the late 20th century in the UK. It's people's connection to the outside world in little outlying communities such as ours. And it's also your connection to an older piece of working class history, which I think somewhat is forgotten some of the time.
Right.
We talk a lot about your big high profile engineers, your Thomas Brassies, your Henry Robertsons, your Charles Colletts, etc., and you can talk about them until the cows come home. But actually, at the end of the day, the person who was building this railway was your father,
Right.
and it was the fathers and grandfathers and for that matter grandmothers of people who even today might well have forgotten that these things all existed. We are now coming into the permanent way yard, which is probably not the most presentable section of the railway.
But if it's grimy or dirty or has lots of industrial things around it, I think it's quite a bit more interesting than
It
seeing
is,
something
and I
polished.
think it's good for people to see because it does sort of it drives home that this doesn't just happen by accident. It happens by the long running labour of a lot of very, very hard working and extremely talented people.
So Pete, welcome to First Class. Hey, we're flying
Sorry
along.
about the film. I've still not seen John Wayne in this picture.
It's
Somebody told me Marilyn Monroe was in it, but I ain't seen her.
It's real, isn't it? Am I not flying along at
No, you're not flying
40 mile
along.
an hour?
You're in Chester Cathedral, Dave. I hate to tell you.
You've spoiled the illusion for me.
Sorry
now.
about that.
Oh my goodness, there's a whole cathedral out there.
Yeah, there's a whole cathedral out there.
Oh wow.